I can't remember what happened. There was like something with the tables to where if you pulled on them weird from the other side, it felt like the whole table was going to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
I was already not in a great mood. It was the end of the day. We were just waiting for like the last 5 minutes to go by. And all of a sudden that happens. I'm like, oh, I tried to like catch myself. And it just turns out he was messing with the bench or whatever. And so I let it go. But then he did it 2 more times. And I stood up. And I was like, you better back off. Or there's going to be a problem. Like, I was super pissed.
Yeah.
And I sat back down, and he did it again. And I walked around the table and got in his face. And then he's like, I was just joking around. I don't know what your problem is. And I was just like,
here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Wake Up with the Sleepy Boys podcast. This week, we have an action-packed episode, starting with our thoughts and observations from the week prior. Is seasonal depression an actual thing? And Eddie comes at us with an exciting Build Your Big Three. Dean wakes us up even further with another great segment of Dean's Conspiracy Theory of the Week. And last and certainly least, we have a good time with Bill's Balls Games. I am your host, Bill, along with co-hosts Eddie and Dean. And let's just address the elephant in the room of why no live stream this week.
I didn't even realize that was in the room.
It was a test run. I was thinking maybe doing once a month, maybe. I don't know if you guys are thinking the same thing.
Sure. I mean, the people are clamoring for it, man. It's
Just clamoring.
It's just one of those things.
My Facebook's just been clamoring.
Just so much clam.
Thank you to everyone who came in, watched, commented, and liked the live stream. We greatly appreciate it. And if you are new to the podcast, please support by smashing that like button, commenting on the episodes, because engagement helps this podcast get bigger, and also subscribing if you haven't already. So, the real elephant in the room, it's not really an elephant in the room, but I couldn't think of a better way to word that, is if you're listening or watching this, you may be thinking, Bill, Eddie's there. He's smiling, having himself a nice little, what'd you say it was, wild bull?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, sorry, your apple juice.
I think I called you Wild Bill.
Nope.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah,
no,
he's there having this stuff. What is
that's
it?
A Buffalo Trace. That's a
Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Did I just call it Wild Buffalo?
What you call it? Yeah, I think so. Wild Buffalo and your Buffalo Bill.
How is
Buffalo
the Buffalo Trace?
Oh, it's my favorite.
Really?
I mean,
I guess I'll remember not to get the wild turkey again.
Hey, I'll take that any day. But just as a general drinking bourbon, Buffalo Trace is really nice.
Good to know.
It's for the quality of it, it's not expensive. I mean, it's like $35 for a fifth. But you gotta, because we live in Michigan, obviously, you gotta find it when it's there, because when it's there, it's gone fast, and we only get like shipments up here, like once a month. So
it's a hard.
You can grab it. Yeah. So it's like a cheap, hard to find, really good bottle. Yeah,
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
I'm just gonna ask you every week now what you're drinking. Now I'm interested.
Rotation of the same things until somebody buys me another bottle. Guess I could buy myself another bottle, but I got the good ones here.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you having a nice little drink. So you probably ask yourself, why am I hosting? Which is a valid question. Pull back the curtain a little bit. It was me.
The two of you out there that are really questioning this.
Jason Dawson and Brian Quillett.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell?
They are not happy right now.
They're like, it was the tall white thing, wasn't it? That caused a change in the program.
we had
Fair enough.
We had some complaints about race and height. So I asked him if I could possibly host a podcast going forward for a little bit. He agreed. Probably not the greatest decision we've made on the podcast, but
or the best.
I appreciate it.
Could be.
What's that?
Or the best one yet.
Could be. I don't know. Probably not.
I'm already not liking it though.
See?
Sure. I am feeling uncomfortable.
One of the employees are disgruntled about this. One of the staff said that. I don't know who.
I don't like the way Bill stares at me while he's talking all the time. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's undressing me with his eyes yet again.
I'm looking right at you. So, yep. I just felt like I wasn't doing a lot in the podcast and outside of editing. So this is all my idea.
You could even edit this out.
Yeah, probably.
It's your call.
Yeah.
You're
My
the man
call.
in charge. He
Well-
didn't really ask me. He was more like, I'm hosting. You moving forward. If you
Yeah,
don't like
I'm not-
it, you're out.
That's
I was
not
like,
true.
I mean, whatever you want, man.
Not what I said. So if you hate me hosting, put it in the comments. That's fine. Engagement helps the channel grow.
See if I can add a comment.
Just secret comments, burner comments.
The name of the comment is definitely not Eddie. Your hosting sucks.
All right. Well, anyways, let's get this thing going. Ed, we're gonna actually start with you. How was your week and what's going on in that beautiful twisted mind of yours?
Don't get me started, man. Because it's gonna get ugly real fast. No, I had just general things to bring up because a lot of the same stuff is happening. I wanted to bring up I guess we're 2 weeks out, but the upcoming Super Bowl and just the conspiracy around that to get the Chiefs in there. You think about it, man, it's like Taylor Swift. There's a lot of, the NFL generates like $55 billion. So like it's a money business, obviously. And Taylor Swift brings the people. And then you think like a Super Bowl, obviously that drew a lot more people. The last Super Bowl, I don't know what the record is or whatever. I have no idea, but it was like 120 some million people, which is a third of the country, pretty much. Or it is. It's like a third of the country. And you wonder, like, what are the other 2/3 of the country doing on Super Bowl Sunday where they don't watch it? But that's neither here nor there. And I almost guarantee, dude, if the Chiefs win, Travis Kelce might propose in the aftermath. And I just
bigger than everything.
It is. I mean, it keeps those people engaged. But also like the ref thing for the Chiefs. And I don't know if you guys have seen any other videos on this, but it's like it's feeling more real, I guess. More time goes on, like so that tush push like 4th down Josh Allen play where he got shorted. I mean, you can go watch the videos on it, but like the one ref comes in from the side where you can see the ball, where he would be the sideline judge that can see the ball, and he's running out at like the yard line where there's a 1st down. The ref on the other side of the field, who had Josh Allen's back was to, cuts it like a yard short and runs in, and he kind of overrides the other ref to spot the ball. Turns out that ref in particular lives in or has family or lives in Kansas City and is verified a big Ravens fan. Like So his like Facebook stuff. So like he's obviously salty about the Bills stuff, also from Kansas City, like and I guess he's being investigated now. I don't know. Maybe that's just YouTube stuff I saw. But like I mean maybe he should be looked into because it when you really break down the video of that play, Josh Allen got the first down.
Yeah.
And that guy was the one who made the deciding call, and he obviously has connections. One, where he probably hates the Bills right now, and two, where he's doesn't want to get crap from his neighbors if he's actually living in Kansas City. He at minimum has family in Kansas City, based on Facebook posts people brought up from like 10 years ago. And with him also wearing like Ravens stuff before he was like an NFL guy, like it's great to be a Ravens fan and all this other stuff. Yeah, yeah, not great.
There's been a lot of talk on that front for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. I just thought that was interesting. So there was a story that came up when I was listening to the radio. I had a lot of time today, specifically in the car, around 11 hours driving today, which you guys are used to, right? I mean, you guys spend a lot of time driving around. So I was listening to radio. And there was an interesting story, and I was wondering what you guys would do in this situation. So this guy was saying when he was 8 years old, his class went on a field trip to a museum. They were there looking at like these Egyptian exhibits, and he just couldn't help his 8-year-old self, grabbed one of the artifacts and slipped it in his pocket. And so like the following couple weeks, there were like assemblies at the school, like, yeah, we got to get this back and all this other stuff. And he didn't have, he was too embarrassed to say that it was him, like most kids would, right? If they don't find you out, if you believe they're not going to find you out, you're probably never going to say. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so fast forward 26 years. So he's 34 now. He's cleaning out like a box or something, and he finds the artifact. And he's like, "Oh." And he's questioning like, should I return this? Or should I keep it?
Interesting.
What would you guys do? And if you're going to return it, how are you going to return it?
Right. How are you going to return it? How are you even going to sell it? You know what I mean?
No, you're already talking about. That wasn't even one of the options.
I know.
He's like, how am I going to get that?
In my head, I definitely try to sell it, but then you think like, how are you going to sell it without like getting on the black market and you know what I mean, like dark web and stuff like that? It's like, man, I don't. I guess I would just keep it. I guess
he didn't say. It was just like a question submitted.
Too obvious.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, well, clearly this guy is from this area because
he was like a Dear Abby segment where you just submit the question, and
it'd be something small that they would just left out.
I think
until they said Egyptian, but could there possibly be legal ramifications? They don't know that you just found it.
It's true.
It's been 20.
How do you prove it? Yeah, but still, I mean, who knows how he didn't say what it was. Who knows how important or like how valuable that artifact is? That's a federal offense based on how much things are worth, right? I mean, the further up you go, if that thing's worth like 1.5 mil. Yeah.
As I said, I'd just keep it. I'd probably just keep it and never say anything. I'm not going to jail over it because I did something when I was 5 or whatever, however old he was.
He was 8. Yeah, he was 8.
Yeah. I'm not going to go to jail for that. If that's if that's in the realm of possibility.
I don't think you would, but I do think it's in the realm. Yeah.
Right. If it's in the realm and that's enough for me to be like, nah. They haven't missed it.
Do?
It's not like they're going around looking for it.
You just give up on like a 5,000-year-old artifact to sit in a box in your basement.
You keep it and then you pass it down to somebody and then they can sell it later on in life when nobody cares anymore.
Well, I mean, nobody's cared in 20 years.
that you know.
You'd be like, oh, hey, look what I found.
How much info were you getting from the age of 8 to 18 about it, though? Were you like scrolling the news every day? Just, probably not. Probably just out at recess.
I mean, I think he's he's pretty much your age, Dean. So like, if you think like back to 8 years old, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't really know if there was a big thing other than the assemblies.
Right. Yeah.
You wouldn't really know.
It became like a big thing. I mean, I guess you could always be like, yeah, I found this in a box that my grandpa had or something, and be like, oh, he stole our artifact. Like, oh, here you go, you got it back. Oh, my bad. I didn't know.
They had to have known it was due to the field trip. So you show up, you're 34.
We've been waiting for you for 26
and
years.
They know it left 26 years ago. Well, you don't think they would know what artifact it is?
You walk in.
They definitely have a record of it.
They would know. And it was like, you're exactly the age of like the kids that were here.
Right.
I just found it.
You
could lie. You could try to lie, and they might just accept it, right? Because they got it back.
If it wasn't a big thing, it might have just have been a replica of something that they just had out because they knew a bunch of kids. Or if it was enough for him to just reach out and grab it and just see it, it's probably not that important.
Who knows? It sounds like the whole school was there, so they might have had a lot of things kind of laid out where they thought would be a fairly safe area, and they assumed. I mean, dude, you think this is 26 years ago? Also,
that's true. It wouldn't be like behind glass cases.
You walk in. The museum director's like, hello, sticky fingers.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you to come back.
It was big enough
because I was waiting.
It was big enough to where they had multiple full school assemblies about it. But eventually the museum gave up because it was like, they're just not going to get it back. And it's so hard to know. If nobody says and nobody saw, how are you ever going to find it?
It's true.
I mean, now they'd probably be able to find out because I'm sure there's a camera at every corner and whatever. Ocean's 11 changed everything.
Yeah.
So
this is that movie specifically.
Well, yeah, no, I was just curious what you guys would do in that kind of situation. Bill, did you even say?
Yeah, I said give it back.
How would you give it back?
I'd walk in and be like, hey, when I was 8, I was being an 8-year-old and I just found this.
Age you are.
I just found this and I wanted to give it back. And they'd probably be like, oh, well, that's awesome. Thank you for coming out and giving it back.
That's the hope for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need
like you're a man now.
So I'm supposed to trust the word of a thief.
As an 8-year-old kid. Like,
where them Rolos at?
I don't need Dick Van Dyke putting cuffs on me.
He's since passed. I hope you're happy about that.
He's alive.
Dick Van Dyke?
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's got to be 100. Yeah,
he's still kicking. I just saw an article.
Really?
Yeah, he was in a commercial, I think.
What a guy.
So, Dean, how was your weekend?
Yeah, he is still alive.
Yeah.
He is 99. That's probably why you saw an article. His birthday was a month ago.
Yeah, I'd probably do it.
Wow. I just assumed he was passed, man. He's been out of the public sphere for good probably since his 90th second birthday. I don't I mean, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
And you knew he was up there. You just assumed it had happened. I don't know.
Well, so Dean, what you got going on?
Not a lot, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I finished the one season they're gonna have of The Ones Who Live. It's like a Walking Dead spinoff that they had on Netflix, which is pretty good. I liked it. I was hoping they'd do a season 2, but it doesn't look like they're going to. But it was pretty good. If you're into Walking Dead, definitely check it out. And then I talked to you guys. I don't know if I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I ordered a Golf Daddy, the simulator or whatever, the little simulator, and it said it was delivered today, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna go home and maybe get some swings in. I didn't know it'd take me so long to look some stuff up, but I was like, maybe I'll get a couple of swings in just to see, and looked around. The package wasn't here, and I was like, huh, maybe it's just like, I don't know, maybe they just marked it delivered and they just haven't dropped it off yet. Still haven't seen it. So now I'm like, because it said it was delivered at 11:06 a.m. and obviously it's not around. So it's either, there's a few options. Like one, I didn't realize, but the billing address was still the castle, but the shipping address is here. The shipping address is here, so it should have shipped here. But maybe the driver read it wrong, dropped it there. Two, or the other option is maybe somebody took it from here. And I'm like, why would you, like, I don't know. I've had a lot of stuff delivered here and nothing's there, but like, why would that be the one thing somebody would steal?
They're like one block of cream cheese. You won't go out.
You'll never leave. So I don't know. I was just it's been bothering me. I'm hoping that it shows up. I'm going to call the castle tomorrow to see if maybe somebody if it doesn't show up. I'm just see if maybe they can take a look and see if it's over there. I'll just go scoop it up.
And even the leasing office of where you're at.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but yeah, they might have, but I feel like they would have emailed.
Would it be
me.
a big package? I
don't think so. I don't know.
A large package?
Is that a daddy in there? But yeah, so I've just been thinking about that a lot recently. But I also saw today, this story of a guy in UK. He was arrested. They called it a UK cheese heist, where he stole $389,000 worth of cheddar, and obviously he was arrested.
$389,000
worth of cheddar.
Dollars or pounds?
Wow,
dollars. Oh well, I guess it could be pounds if it's in the UK, but I think they might have.
Would be more actually.
Yeah,
more than $1.
Do you guys? Like anything enough that you'd spend almost $400,000 on something like that? I mean, he stole it, but like, somebody at some point could have bought that much cheese, that cheddar. You guys, anything?
I mean,
or you'd put your life on the line and go and steal almost $400,000 worth of something. Like cheese, man. You have that much cheese, man.
I've thought about that. Like, I've thought about that before, where I don't think there's anything I could take to want to go to jail.
And as I'm looking at this, it says it was roughly 48,500 pounds of high value cheddar. How are you got a team moving this cheese, man? Like, what are you doing with this?
He probably did say, he's like, hey, you guys want to go steal some cheese?
Yes,
like, oh, you mean that cheddar? And
you ever have really good nachos before, man? With the best cheddar you've ever had. I don't know.
Wait, is that another name for money? You're talking about nachos?
He's like,
oh yeah.
We're at a cheese factory. I thought we were going to a bank.
Money nachos, yes.
That
don't worry about it, bro. The cheddar's in there.
Yeah, the cheddar's in there, bro. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I thought that was funny, a little bit odd, so I wanted to bring it up. Yeah, that was it. That was it for me. The Golf Daddy thing's the only thing that's messing with me right now.
Well,
so
prayers up to you that you found that.
Thank you.
Let's send our prayer warriors out there listening.
Beer start a prayer chain for Dean.
I'm trying to get some swings.
And the Lord knows he needs them.
And the Lord knows he needs it.
The Lord knows.
Oh, that he does.
Oh, that's funny. I've had a pretty good week. I worked late Tuesday. Went to the rodeo at Van Andel on Friday. That was a fun time. So I don't know how much you know about bull riding, but I found out that it's 8 seconds is like the goal to get to.
Yeah.
And not a lot of 8-second guys, a lot of 3 to 4 seconds.
I hear that, brother.
Not at Van Andel.
Not in my
It was the
bedroom.
PBR Grand Rapids Beer City.
PBR
And-
Grand Rapids.
Well, no, this was like an actual like the professional bull riding, but I think night one had the amateurs. Well, I think they were pros, but not the
Dude, amateur night's always better.
yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone tries harder.
Yeah, I mean, no question.
It's true. It's true.
You don't even have to. Never mind.
What I found
Tall and white.
funny, what I found funny was at some point during the event, Charlie started cheering. My daughter started cheering for the bulls instead of the riders. So I was in the bathroom when this happened, but when I got back, Kate was telling me a bull stepped on a guy's foot, and when that happened, Charlie cheered for the bull.
Get him.
I thought, I was like, that's like a real like Roman Empire gladiator moment, where they always cheer for like the.
I mean, is she really just? Don't we all cheer for the bull a little?
Oh yeah,
Isn't that part of the show? I mean,
yeah. They had
somebody get just thrown 30 feet in the air by this bull.
some of the bulls, they had like stats on the bull. Like I think there were like 3 bulls that had 100% knockoff rate. It's like, oh, this one's definitely gonna get this guy.
One definitely doesn't like to have its nuts tied.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one hates it. The guy was 0%. That bull's just moseying out. I kind of like this. Why don't you rope up my hooves? Oh no! Here he goes again.
Look at me running.
Oh, bring the clowns!
Oh man, that was a fun time though. One other thing I noticed was that it's starting to get a little darker later in the day. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but today, which the recording day today is Thursday, it got up to like 47 degrees at one point, and I enjoyed that. It's a little break from what I think's been a pretty snowy winter. Compared to
Maybe
guys,
over you guys.
Yeah,
We haven't gotten a ton of snow at all. I mean, we've gotten some down. I'm like 2 hours ish south of and east of where they are, and so they get more lake effect snow up where they're at. So it's been snowy ish. It just has. I mean, it's been colder than the last year or two, but. Until today.
It's to me, it's just been, I just feel like it's just winter.
Well, actually, it's a great example because it might have been 2 weeks ago. I had to drive to Plainwell, and when I talked to the person I was going to go see, they're like, it was one of those super cold days where schools were closed around here. He goes, well, you're going to want to be careful. He's like, be careful on the roads coming up there. And I'm like, yeah, all right. But where I was at, like, you could pretty much go the speed limit wherever, except for like the back roads.
Right.
Like you had to slow down maybe to like 40, 45 instead of 55. But then when I got about past Kalamazoo 131, all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, yeah, it sucks a lot more here. And then there was like 2 crashes between there and Plainwell. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, okay. I see what he means now. Because to me, I was like, no, it's going to be no problem.
Right.
But I don't know. That's the difference I've seen between where you guys are at and where I'm at.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, it hasn't been crazy snowy, but
it's been, for me, it's been. So anyways, so my daughter said something to me the other day that she goes, Dad, I want it to stop snowing. And I was like, man, I feel that. I said, I want it to stop snowing and being cold as well. I want it to be spring, obviously. So it got me thinking, like last week, the wind chill was like negative 25 at one point. And, Dean, we're walking through the snow delivering stuff and brushing our cars off at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m, whatever. And I just found myself in like not a miserable mood, but not happy like the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, and it actually reminded me of last year where I found myself like around like mid-January to March, just kind of like in a funk.
Seasonal depression, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm getting at is that like, I think the older I get, like the more like this starts to happen. Cause like when I was younger, it didn't bother me so much. But now I see why old people want to go to Florida, like go south or like go to Arizona or you know what I mean? I don't know. I try to get Kate. I'm like, Kate, if we ever retire, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but she's like, I like the winter. I'm like, I don't. But does that affect you guys at all? Like, am I like the only one?
No, you're definitely not the only one, but
no, not.
I don't know.
Well,
if
I mean,
really...
not the only one, but like out of us three.
Oh, out of us three, I don't know. I think it's for me, it's just more regular depression.
I was gonna say he's just like he's a year round.
It's kind of a all seasonal.
It's kind of weird. I have summer depression.
The seasonal depressions, man. It's crazy. But seasonal, not really, because I still go out and do relatively the same things I do in the summer. I mean, other than I don't golf every weekend, but I'm still going to the simulator and still hanging out with my buddies or, going out and, drinking with my friends, things like that. So, I mean, as long as that if I do that at least once or twice a month, I usually don't, but I could see if I was just like when I sit at home for long periods of time, like just go work, go home, you know what I mean? Like just the same thing for like 3-4 weeks, then yeah. I mean, it's definitely, but that's not even just seasonal. It's just anytime. But I try to keep myself busy to not think about that. But I see what you're saying though. That definitely people have that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have a season. It's not like a defined like winter or fall, but it's between like late fall to winter where I'm definitely more down, but there's a lot of things that go into that too. But I've always kind of been that way a little bit. I mean, I don't remember that when I was young.
Right.
But probably once I got into my once I got into my young 30s, I think it started to get a little bit more. And then now there's a lot of things. So it's like, yeah, there's definitely a season. I wouldn't say it's one of the seasons, but there's definitely a season where I feel it. But I think I kind of push that onto myself too. So it's more of a thing I got to work out.
And just so I can feel something.
Yeah. I'd rather feel it than nothing.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like once spring starts to hit, I just feel like happier.
Definitely.
Like,
well, yeah, sure.
The birds are singing.
The sun makes a huge difference in general.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, and that's just a fact.
Yeah.
I mean,
today
when it was out the other day, yeah, today. I mean, I was in a car. I'd spent maybe 10 minutes outside if I was lucky. But there was a day it was this week. It might have been Tuesday I remember I walked outside. I was visiting somebody, and I came outside of the house, and the sun was out, and it was like mid-30s or something. I don't know, somewhere in there. It wasn't like freezing at all, and I was like, man, that feels good. With just the sun coming down, and it was like, okay, gosh, I was like, I wish spring was here.
Yeah, I'm with you
for sure. Yeah,
but spring is not here. So if you are depressed, if you are depressed,
Buffalo Trace,
drink Buffalo Trace, or you can get down to the delicious foods of Adobo Boy. Here at Wake Up, we love that Filipino food. With an amazing lunch menu, a dinner menu that will fulfill your need for new, flavorful food, and a weekend breakfast menu that will satisfy that morning hunger, Adobo Boy has you covered. They will have 3 set items and rotate other items to give the community the different tastes and flavors of the Philippines. The main staples for lunch are there with delicious soups and lumpia. I think, Dean, you brought it up. There's like some tofu bites.
Tofu crunch bites.
Tofu crunch bites.
Ooh.
But the 2 main staples are chicken adobo, pork adobo. Dean knows what's in those adobos. Give it to us, Dean, right now.
All right. Red's pork adobo bowl.
Don't F it up.
Slow cooked pork braised in soy sauce and vinegar, served with Jackie's achara, cucumber, a fried egg, and served on rice, obviously named after their son. Also the chicken adobo, which is very similar to the Red's pork adobo. It's braised in soy sauce and vinegar as well, but also coconut milk to make it a little bit creamier. Also served with hard-boiled quail eggs and Jackie's achara and cucumber as well, and also served on rice. It's delicious no matter which one you choose. Mix them up. Don't mix them up. Smash them down. Buy 2, buy 3. It's worth it.
Around.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely check them out. Put your hand in, take your hand out.
Duval.
Yeah, Duval. That was so weird. All right, that sounds delicious, Dean. Thank you for that beautiful description of adobo. So if you are into trying new and different foods or just want some amazing lumpia adobo and vibes, stop in and say hi to owners Ace, Jackie, and Son Red, who are amazing people who genuinely care about your experience. Eddie, come in, Eddie. I need you to give us the experiences and go.
Wait, could you hold on? You're breaking up there. What was that?
Experiences.
Oh, experiences at the one and only Adobo Boy. I mean, it's the only place you can get that kind of experience where you come in, dude. You're gonna feel the ambiance of the place. You're gonna notice it. You're gonna feel comfortable. You're gonna take in the smells. You're gonna say, "Man, I know I'm in the right place." You're gonna get up to the register. You're gonna order the amazing food. I mean, you could order the stuff that Dean was talking about. You could order anything on the menu, and you're gonna be impressed by it. And on top of that, they're going to give you a discount. They're going to give you 5% off the entire meal just by saying Wake Up Podcast. That's 5% off just by saying Wake Up Podcast. I mean, come on. You get to go in, you get to experience the place, you get to take in the aromas, you get to talk to people who are happy that you're there, which isn't at every place, as we all know. And then you're going to get to order this amazing food that you're going to really enjoy. And they're going to give you a discount. They're going to give you 5% off by saying Wake Up Podcast. Again, that's 5% off just by saying Wake Up Podcast at the register. Truly a deal you can't beat.
Yeah. Thank you.
Look at those guys. They're blown away. I mean,
Whoa.
they're going over their experience in their head because we've all been there. And you can just picture it. And it's a beautiful thing.
5%. Enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Thank you, Bros. So if you want to have 5% off, you want some delicious adobo, you want those amazing vibes, get down to Adobo Boy, where they're open Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch and 5 to 7:30 for dinner. Saturday, serving a breakfast lunch combo from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Adobo Boy is located at 3740 28th Street, Southeast Kentwood, Michigan, inside the amazing Myanmar restaurant. Make sure you head over to adoboboygr.com or Adobo Boy on Facebook for official menu items and hours. Get down there, get 5% off by saying Wake Up Podcast, get fed and get happy. It is always more fun at the Adobo Boy. Next segment to you. Take it away, Ed.
Take it away. Okay. I mean, that's one of those things. Adobo Boy is certainly something you will never need an excuse for, because everybody appreciates the deliciousness of Adobo Boy. But that being said, brings us to this week's Build Your Big Three. Best excuses to get out of work edition, or just best excuses to get out of something in general. For those who don't know, Build Your Big Three is a stake style draft where we draft up 1, 2, 3, then back down 3, 2, 1 till we build our big three. And this week's big three is best excuses. The order this week is myself, Dean, then Bill. Me, you're on the clock. Round one, pick one.
Bill's.
Yeah, I'm second.
Yeah, but I kind of want Dean to go second.
That's
I
fine.
just feel like his
That's fine. I like the back.
No, you're right. You guys are absolutely right. But when we talked about it before, I wrote down EDB. I have problems. Even though I'm probably the one who said EBD.
Yeah, I went first last week. So,
guys, the letters look so similar that it's hard to tell them apart. I mean,
that's called
it's really
Buffalo
your fault.
Trace.
No, that was from the Woodford Reserve I had before the Buffalo Trace. So it's myself, Bill, then Dean, until we build our big three. So yeah, I have the first pick. I didn't really realize I had the first pick, but I kind of had an idea of what I might go with. So many great options left on the board. Seeing that I had the first pick.
Definitely.
And I just feel like you kind of have to go with it because it's the one everybody uses. I got sick. I'm sick. Sick. That's it. It has to be, because that's got to be the number one excuse to get out of work or whatever.
Unless you work
on a regular basis. Oh, Dean's got a little teaser there, huh? Unless you work at Denny's.
Trust me, I call in sick. You could come in and work a couple hours. Yeah, I guess. Go at 100-degree fever, working a 110-degree kitchen for 4 hours.
So the heat, you're already at the temp. So really, what's the issue? Round one, pick one. Was I got sick. Bill,
I got sick.
Round one, pick two.
I'm gonna go with the family emergency.
It's classic.
The old family emergency.
Classic.
Bill, how would that sound if you're calling up and you're faking it?
Hey.
Oh, already a terrible start.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Hey.
Hey, I hate to do this to you, but we have a family emergency today.
Oh, that sucks.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm going to be all right, but it's just kind of private, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm going to need the details. You can't ask
Can't
for
do
the
that.
details. You can't do that.
Family emergency. Pick two.
That'll work.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Dean, back-to-back picks.
my first one is it's a form of being sick, but this one's very specific because I was a manager for a couple of years at a restaurant, and I had one of my cooks called off, and he could have just said
his name is
Brad. He doesn't listen to this. He don't listen to this. Friggin' Brad. Good day. I mean, nice guy. I liked him, but
his last name is.
It's
his social.
You look him up on Facebook.
You were his manager. I wrote down his social.
Yeah. I liked the guy overall. He could have just called and just said, "Hey, I'm sick," right? But he had to go and take the extra mile, to cover up his tracks. And he calls me. He goes, "Hey, Dean, I'm not gonna be able to come in tonight." And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And he's like, "I shit all over myself." He's like, I was on my way and I shit all over myself and all over my car, and I don't know what to do, and I'm covered in shit. And I was like, all right, man. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, okay, that's fine. Come to find out, he just went to a concert that night.
I was like, there's no way that was real.
Yeah, he could have just called and just been like, "Hey, I was a pretty cool manager. Like, I'm not going to question you if you're going to call." He never really.
Everybody thought I was really cool.
Everybody I was a good manager. But
to your face, that's what they said.
So my first pick is I shit all over myself.
Wow.
Yeah. My second pick, I'm just going to go off.
I mean, that excuse works.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody's being like, "No, come on in."
No, please. We gotta sink.
You're
you can wipe
fine.
yourself down. So that's my first one.
We'll use the hard sprayer.
And then we could run you through the dishwasher real quick. Just ones that people would normally call in with for me is that was a specific. My car broke down.
Sure. Car issues
all the time.
Yeah.
And then we'd be like, "Hey, we can come pick you up though." And they'd be like, "Ah, no.
I got to get this figured out.
I think my vehicle's running now." Yeah. It's literally.
I actually got to take it in. You're like, it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, right. You're there a third shifter. I don't know I don't think there's any dealerships open right now.
It just broke down.
Yeah. Car broke down.
Yes, classic.
The number 2 would be a death in the family.
Yeah.
Whether the family member is already deceased or not.
Have you
ever done that?
I was going to ask, have you ever considered doing it? I've never done it. I've considered it many times, though. I'd be like, they'd never know. But then it's like, it doesn't feel moral. It doesn't feel ethical.
Yeah, no, I've never done that.
I don't want to lie about that aspect.
Neither one of you guys have done that, huh?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I've had 10 grandmas.
I'll tell you the situation. I was 18, 19. It was a seasonal job. I didn't want it. I mean, it just in its way, it was a seasonal job. But I didn't call in. I shouldn't even bring this up because I didn't call in. I just used it. So this guy, I freaking hated this guy. He was one of the yeah, he wouldn't watch this, and he might be dead, honestly. I don't know. He was old enough then, and that was approaching 20 years ago. So it's very possible. In my mind, it wasn't 20 years ago. Anyway, I was working there, and I just couldn't stand the guy in general, and they knew I was seasonal. Like 90% of the people there were pretty cool in general, like cool with me, whatever. But he was like just being a dick, dude. I mean, and just he was always doing that. And I was at a point where I wanted to fight the guy. Especially at that age. Like he had pulled
another old dude.
I mean, at that point in time, he was probably in his young to mid 50s. Like he thought he still had it, right? Like he,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So to me, he was old at the time,
Right.
you know. But he was young enough to do what he had to do. I mean, he had like, I can't remember what happened. There was like something with the tables to where if you pulled on him weird from the other side, it felt like the whole table was going to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
I was already not in a great mood. It was the end of the day. We were just waiting for like the last 5 minutes to go by. And all of a sudden that happens. I'm like, oh, I tried to like catch myself. And it just turns out he was messing with the bench or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I let it go. But then he did it 2 more times. And I stood up. And I was like, you better back off. Or there's going to be a problem. Like I was super pissed.
Yeah.
And I sat back down and he did it again. And I walked around the table and got in his face. And then he's like, I was just joking around. I don't know what your problem is. And I was just like,
oh my God.
because in my head, I'm like, when he was like saying that, in my head, I'm like, you know what? It is a little unreasonable for me to be this mad, but I also I hated the guy.
Right.
So
That didn't help. Right.
2, I had already said what I had said, and like at that point in time, nobody knew that I had any. Like everybody's like,
Right.
"Oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Nobody would
nice,
know.
whatever, Eddie," right? And so it was like a surprise. And so to my head, I had to like rationalize why I was so mad or upset that day. And I used that, and he just shut up. And he like walked away and like sat down. He didn't talk to me the rest of the time I had that job.
He probably felt like a douche for sure.
Well, yeah.
That was the plan.
That was the goal, right? I mean,
worked.
I wanted him to feel bad.
You
So I just threw that out there. Yeah.
Really sold it.
Dude, I
that's not
that's
so bad.
That's hilarious.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Yeah.
Neither did I. Just calling in the next day and saying your aunt died.
Yeah.
That's
No. Yeah, I didn't use it to get out of work, but I did say that a relative died once to get after somebody. Instead of punching them, I wanted them to feel bad.
This is probably the better option of the two.
Well, it was because I was very close, and I don't know. There was just a moment, maybe that was just one of those graces from God, right? Where like you punch this guy, and then now you go to jail because you're too old for this.
Yeah,
and instead you just say your aunt's dead, and it ends the whole thing. It's okay.
He's like, I'll forgive you.
He didn't say it. He just said nothing. He was like,
not him.
no, he was like,
God. God's like, I'll forgive you if you just say.
Yeah. He said like or something. I was so heated that I've a hard time remembering exactly what happened right after.
Yeah.
But he had said something and then walked away and sat down. Everybody's watching too.
Right, of course.
It's at the end of the day. We're all just waiting to clock out.
Right.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Round 2, pick 3.
Hey, this is mine, Bill. So round 2, pick 3. I'm on the clock. I have back-to-back picks here. Still tons of great options left on the board. I almost took this first because you can use it. You can use it more than once. So I'm gonna go with your kid is sick.
Yeah.
Because your kid's sick, you could use it theoretically. You could use it the next day and say I got sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's a double. It's a double. That's why I was like, yeah, that might be worth the first pick, just because you can get 2 days.
Your kid's been sick for a week now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm coming down
another week.
I think I'm coming down with this thing.
Oh, I guess I got a theme going. I got sick, then the kid got sick. Who else gets sick? So I guess round 3, pick 1. I mean, there's classic. Yeah, I might as well just stick with it. That's what I got going. I'm gonna go with a doctor's appointment. But you know what? No, because that's not one you can just call up that day
Right. And then
without
then
them
you
being like,
know,
"You're
and
an
then
ass." You're like, "You didn't know?
right. Oh, I didn't know it was on the schedule.
You forgot? Like, aren't you an adult?" Injured. I got injured. I got hurt. Something
Threw
got
my
stuck up
back out.
Something got stuck up my ass, and I'm at the ER.
I'll be
That's
good
just
for
as
tomorrow,
crazy as saying you crapped all over yourself in your mind. You know,
Ain't
like
gonna
you
make
don't
it
have
in.
to say that.
You don't. That was the whole time. I was like, dude, you didn't have to. It's over.
You don't have to say that at all.
Not at all.
That's funny.
I would have just
Round
taken
3.
You could just be like, my aunt died,
because of
Yeah.
that too.
and
I think
just
you
roll.
used that once. I think
Yeah.
you used that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Round 3, pick 2. I'm gonna go with herpes flare up.
I'm flaring. I'm flaring.
I could not make it in.
I didn't read my prescription right. I took it at the wrong hour.
I dare you to call your boss with that.
Yeah, right. It'd be like, and you could still come in.
Can you just say flare up? I had a flare up.
You can say it. Wouldn't it be like, well,
I
what
guess
kind
that
of flare?
doesn't. I guess that doesn't.
What's your
count.
flare up? What do you mean? You can call and use it. You think they're not going to give you the day off if you're insistent on your herpes flare up? Be like, look,
Yeah,
I just
but-
can't do it
Well,
today.
who
I got a
says-
flare
who
up. I got to go
says
to the
got
doctor.
herpes flare up? I'm
Apparently
gonna go
you.
with
Like it's from my eyebrows to my crotch. I'm just flared up.
I have to go to the hospital.
I have
I'll go with food poisoning.
the sicky.
I'm going to leave herpes flare up on here.
All right, last
And-
pick, huh?
Yes.
That one she didn't actually call off for that one. So I'm just gonna say lost my keys. Lost my keys, man. Can't
Good
make
one.
it. Can't get there.
Lost my keys.
I've had that call before.
Here's the thing. 2 of your 3, right? Based on what people do are
Mhm.
things that you could go get them.
Yeah, I know. We'd always be like, oh no, it's fine. I gotta look for it.
Of course.
I gotta look for my keys.
I gotta find them.
Yeah, I can't. How am I gonna lock
Like,
my
I'll
house?
just drive you back after work and you just look then.
No, it never works.
No, of course not.
Not with
Those
the people that
people
would
for you.
regularly call off with those excuses.
Yeah. If you're getting that excuse, you're like, yeah, just stay home.
Just probably not the
Please.
best worker anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't need you. Could use you. We don't need you.
We could use you, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
we don't need you. For sure.
All right. Well, if you guys are thinking of some honorable mentions, I will go over our big 3s. I'll start out with mine because I had the first pick. I went with I got sick, and then my kids got sick,
Oh,
and then an injury happened. I had to go to the hospital.
while I was sick,
While I was sick.
fell down the stairs.
I was actually sick, and I got up because I was trying to still get dressed for work.
Yeah,
And then
exactly. Then I broke my leg.
fell down the- yeah. 8 places. 8.
I'll be there tomorrow, though.
Yeah. It got repaired.
It's
Well,
gonna
that
be
was the
pretty.
one-
They said a fast heal. It's gonna be quick.
That was the one thing I forgot to mention with the kids sick or I got sick was like you can be fine the next time you come in.
Yeah.
So you
For
can
sure.
get that time, but you can still be okay by the time you get back in, which is the complete cover up.
Yep.
For sure.
So the next picks were Bills, who had family emergency, death in the family,
No.
and herpes flare up.
You had a
Dean-
good streak going there until the herpes.
Yeah, I know. I had the sick. Bill had the families, and then Dean, you got to poo on yourself. Car issues,
Yeah.
and lost my keys again. those
Kinda,
last two
yeah.
things, yeah.
They kinda
So we were
do.
connecting our
And he shit all over himself in his car. So is what he said.
so you got a 3 for
So I got a 3 for 3 here.
Dean wins. Build your big 3.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
Since he won, Dean, do you have any honorable mentions you wanted to throw in?
One was dog or cat died. And then another one that actually this one was a real one, but we didn't let or I would have just let her stay home, but our GM didn't let her stay home. But she tried calling in because the night before she was drinking with her friends outside and she went pee and wiped with poison ivy. So her whole downstairs area was poison ivy rashed. And she still came into work that day, the next day. You go because they made her come in. I don't know if they made. I wasn't there. I was just. The manager. I let her go home. I let her go home early.
It sounds like that might have been an issue that's connected to Bill's 3rd pick. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, a little bit.
The old herpes flare out.
That was wild. I was like, yeah, you can probably get out of here. I wasn't gonna make her stay. And it wasn't like oh she's fake. Like it was obvious that
you checked it out.
I made sure I brought her into the office and
do you want to go home or not?
No.
It doesn't look like any poison ivy around that mouth.
A lot of movement and you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
like just trying to get comfortable and just can't.
I don't know. She probably faked it.
She could have, but we didn't really need her for the rest of the. When I sent her home, we didn't really need her anymore. But yeah. Other than that, no, that was all my.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Got nothing. I mean, jury duty is
can't get a ride.
That's only an can't get a ride. Transportation, right? Trying to get somewhere.
Transportation.
A doctor's appointment, which I'd brought up, but I still don't. I don't feel like that's a great excuse. Yeah. You could, if you're going to plan ahead of time.
Yeah. Just like the day before. Oh, I'm not feeling good. And then like, I got to go to the doctor today.
Yeah.
But then you have to come in with a note most of the time in most places.
Depends where you're at, right?
I mean, for sure. It definitely depends where you're at. And who's your manager?
I mean, you still could go to you could go to an urgent care and probably get a note if you were really going for it.
Yeah. Yeah, then you're taking time out.
Yeah.
But how long would that take?
Could take a while.
You go to urgent care at 9:30 in the morning. Not many people are there, and you're just trying to get a note, so you just whatever. I don't know if the day off is worth it to you.
Maybe it's a busy day at the urgent care.
Ugh. I guess I couldn't get in.
No, that's not how I would want to spend the time. Right.
No babysitter.
No babysitter.
Yeah.
Well,
I got a couple more here.
Oh,
I don't.
Okay. Well, great big 3. Thank you, Eddie, for that.
Thank you for that also. And I also thank Dean for that as well.
I'd like to thank both of you.
Speaking of Dean, he's about to wake us up a little more when he gives us his conspiracy theory of the week.
Oh, yeah. Not as into it. I just keep thinking about my golf daddy. And I don't know why.
What's the conspiracy around that?
I don't know why somebody would steal it when you could just have a golf buddy, You go to secondhandbirdies.com, one of the official sponsors of the Wake Up podcast, handling all your golf club needs without breaking the bank. They're a family-owned business who specializes in taking any and all golf gear and clubs and refurbishing them back to their old glory, which are marked on the site with a quality club rating from 1 to 5. This ensures an easy and pleasant shopping experience, knowing exactly what you're going to get while also providing great customer service and also a quick delivery so you can get to swinging as soon as possible. They also offer club cleaning services for those of us that don't have the time to do it, or like myself, are just too lazy to do it ourselves. All clubs are already at a discounted price, but if you subscribe to their email newsletter, you'll get an additional 10% off your very first purchase. It makes an already great deal even better. Inventory moves fast, so don't wait too long.
So you move faster.
Get to secondhandbirdies.com, subscribe to the email newsletter, get your 10% off your first purchase, and get to swinging as soon as possible. Go to secondhandbirdies.com, find quality clubs for less. Secondhandbirdies.com.
You're going to be real upset when you get on that website and you see a golf daddy for sale.
He came to my place.
Yeah, no kidding. Secondhand birdie prices,
but it's at a discounted price.
First-hand quality.
So my theory, I have a Michael Jackson theory for you guys this week. It's kind of it's a little short, but it is a little bit interesting though. The theory is what, obviously, I think it's pretty clear where this theory is going, whether or not Michael Jackson actually passed away or not. These theories came around obviously a little while ago, but have somewhat come back. I alluded to it somewhat in the Beyonce She Knows theory. Check that episode out. But I've come across some other stuff that it could be plausible. You have to remember it's conspiracy theory. Things get stretched a little, right? So to start, a lot of people are saying that he was actually at his own funeral, and wore prosthetics and makeup to disguise himself, which he had done before to keep the paparazzi off of him, disguise himself in public. But also a photo of somebody sitting behind the family that looks oddly like Michael Jackson, which even with the prosthetics, and not to mention it was a closed casket and nobody actually saw his body. So there's no real, there's no physical proof that he was in the casket at all. But there's also a video of the ambulance that took Michael after he had died. And once it gets to the hospital, there's somebody, the gate shutting and somebody's obviously recording on their phone or whatever. Somebody hops out of the back that is clearly not a ENT, and it's almost identical to him, in the sense of body shape and hair. It was long black hair, kind of looked like his clothes, like a maroon, velour or whatever kind of material it was, type of shirt. Kind of odd. And that's a video you can actually go and see. Then there's also his daughter actually uploaded a photo in 2016, and in the back seat you can see somebody sitting in the back seat that, it looks like Michael Jackson with a hood up. I guess it could be her brother Blanket. I know he looks a lot like Michael did, I guess. I haven't really seen any pictures of him. And then finally, his middle name is spelled differently on his death certificate than what he had on anything else, like his ID and passport, where he had Joe, and on his death certificate he has Joseph, and I know that's not a crazy stretch to go from Joseph to Joe, right? But on everything else, who shortens their middle name without going by it? You know what I mean? Unless you're going by Joseph or Joe, you're probably not shortening your middle name for whatever reason. You know what I mean? He wasn't using it as his his famous name or anything like that. So it would make no sense for him to be like, oh, no, it's Joe. It's not Joseph, but like it's actually Joseph. You know what I mean? And I've also seen that his legal name was actually Michael Joe Jackson. So for his middle name, I mean, to be spelled differently is kind of a big deal in his death certificate. So I guess it's like, is the King of Pop still alive? Did he fake his death to get out from under the Illuminati or the elites? What do you guys think?
He did.
He did. I mean, I don't know.
No, if that was the reason, then no, because they would know.
Maybe
they would. The Illuminati.
But what about his kids?
Like I said, his daughter
dead?
posted a picture on 2016 of possibly him in the back seat. I feel like his family knows, but I mean, I don't think actually, but in a believability scale, I would say it's like a 3 or a 2.
That's true. He might just be the master of disguise. I mean, he disguised himself as a white lady for a long time. And maybe that was on purpose.
It very well could have been.
Like maybe. Joe's the name of his dad.
Yes.
So I could say, I don't know, just based on the VH1 movie I'd seen about 1,000 times, it just feels like.
But Joseph is also his dad, if that's the case.
Yeah. So they probably were just like, he's probably like Joe, but it was really Joseph.
But why is he shortening it to Joe?
Why would Joe short it to Joe?
No, why would Michael short his middle name to Joe without being called Joe?
It was probably, that's what I'm saying. Joe probably said that like that in the hospital.
Well,
he'd be like, it's Joe. Michael Joe. Yeah.
It's Joe. Michael Joe.
And they wrote down Joe, but they always kind of knew. They're like, well, it's really Joseph.
It's possible. Like I said, it's a stretch. You know what I'm saying? It is a stretch, and I know that. The photos and the videos are really what could be more convincing and why people would actually throw some belief into the theory. You know what I mean? Sure. But like I said, and like I would give it like a 2 or 3 on a believability scale.
I would say, I mean, yeah, I don't deny that he could have faked his death.
Right.
I mean, that's plausible, I think, in any of those celebrities that die. I mean, that at a fairly youngish age or whatever, because like they have the means to make that happen, and they've, especially somebody like Michael, who spent his whole life,
in the spotlight like that.
So yeah, I mean, you couldn't blame the guy.
Right.
But I don't know. It's hard to say.
I'll give it a 2 as well.
I give it a 10.
I pull
a 10. I believe every conspiracy you've brought up so far.
As you should.
Hey, actually, I'd been meaning to ask you, like the flat Earth stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you know, but I wanted to ask you, like, so like what is their excuse for like when somebody is able to sail around the world or something?
It's how a flat Earth map is made, or like how it looks is their idea behind it. Nobody's really ever, I haven't looked into that as much as like flight paths and stuff like that, and why planes make the stops that they do if they run low on fuel. Instead of making the fastest route to their destination, they actually ride more along the land in case they run out of fuel. So like there was an example of somebody leaving, I mean, I couldn't tell. They were coming to the USA from across the ocean, and instead of cutting straight across, which would be the fastest route, they were like kind of going across, and then they ran out of fuel or something, or like low on fuel, or like they just didn't fuel up when they were at the airport or something like that. And instead of like going, like continuing on to try to make it or whatever, they actually went farther north for an emergency landing, and they stopped up in like, like I said, I'd have to go back and really look into that. But the flight paths are what people really are more concerned about. The around the world thing, I don't know. I haven't actually looked into that part of it as much.
I was just curious if
that is an interesting question, though.
Yeah.
What their thought on that would be. It's probably something along the lines of just, it seems like you're going around, but you're not. I would imagine. I couldn't tell you.
I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm like logically, I don't know how that'd be possible.
Right. I'll look into it and get back to you.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Well, great conspiracy, Dean.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's moonwalk our way to the last segment of the night, which is Bills, Balls, Games.
Woo!
Fellas, U.S. state capitals.
No. I know a few.
Okay, so I'm either going to give you the name of the state, and you have to give me the capital, or I'm going to give you the name of the capital, and you got to give me the state.
Okay.
That'd be way easier.
That'd be a little bit easier. Maybe.
All right, I have a random state generator here. First one, Kansas.
Should we just write these? Are you going to go through all of them? We'll just write them down and show you the answers at the end.
No.
Okay, so each one.
Yeah, because I don't. Well, I guess I could write it down.
Well, you know what? That would honestly we shouldn't, because that would give Dean time to Google these.
That's true. Okay, Kansas. Are you ready?
Ready.
No. I'm just gonna write down dude, I got it.
Okay. And your answers.
Oh, you can't see mine.
I'm going with Wichita.
Eddie?
I wrote Topeka.
Eddie's up 1-0.
I knew it was Topeka,
Kansas.
It's my favorite juice.
You won't be able to see mine, so I could just. Maybe I need to answer. Can we see Dean's when you hold it up?
I can't see either one of yours.
I mean, I'm being honest with my answers.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I was like, maybe I should answer first.
I said
you definitely can't
well,
see mine.
Instead of doing that, we can do what we normally do, and just if you get it right, you get the point. If not, the other person can steal it. So Eddie got that one right. Dean?
No, I'm first because he went first last time.
You guys, okay, that's fine. Eddie's up 1-0. Dean,
I'm just joking. Just get Dean.
No, it's fine. Dean. It's fine. All right, ready? Eddie?
He didn't go first. Yeah.
Kentucky.
We're taking turns now?
Yeah.
Kentucky?
Taking turns. Yep.
Oh, Kentucky. Why am I Lexington?
Dean.
Oh, I guess it's not the one I know. Lexington. That's the only town I know in Kentucky. Wichita. Wichita.
Okay. You're both wrong. It's Frankfurt.
I don't even want. Oh, that's right, because of the stupid joke.
Yeah.
Love Frankfurt.
Gosh darn.
All right, Dean.
So stupid.
Olympia.
Oh, it's not that one.
5.
North Dakota.
No, that is incorrect. Eddie.
I'm correct.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Montana.
That is wrong.
I would say that. I know that's wrong.
It's Washington. Olympia, Washington. Eddie's up 1-0 still.
I almost said Washington. I don't know why I'm questioning myself. I'm like, it's Seattle. But it's not. That's so stupid.
No, I'm with it.
All right. No more Buffalo Trace.
Eddie,
maybe
you're
one
up.
more.
South Dakota.
Um, gosh, I think I'm thinking of North Dakota.
I don't know that one either.
5.
I would say Bismarck.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Dean.
Well, now he knows the other one if he gets north.
Oh yeah,
4.
I do.
3.
Mount Rushmore. That's the capital of it, right? It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
It is Pierre, South
Oh.
Dakota, with a population of 14,000. All right, Dean, you're up. Alaska.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's Anchorage.
That is incorrect.
That's not
What?
right. It's
not?
Juneau.
Juneau.
You're right. Damn it. I could have sworn it was Anchorage.
Can't make any statements before you guess, because I'm telling you.
Two
not
nothing. Or is it 3? 2
It's
nothing.
2. It's only 2,
It's
yeah.
2-0.
All right,
Pierre.
Eddie.
At least I knew a town in Alaska. You gotta
This-
give me some credit. You gotta give me
Freaking
some
Pierre,
credit.
There you
Pierre and Frankfurt. That is just whatever.
go. Pennsylvania. And 5. Eddie, it's you.
Can't be Philadelphia.
5, 4.
I'm losing it all. I don't know.
1.
I said Philadelphia.
Oh,
He's in Philadelphia. Yeah.
that's incorrect.
I
Dean.
know.
It's Hershey.
No.
It's Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
I was close.
Oh my
I was really close.
All right, Dean, you're up. West Virginia.
The thing
I can't-
is,
Honestly, I can't think of it either. So we just get to the answer.
this is the Mountaineers.
I can't think of any of them. You could ask me Michigan. I think I'd probably get that one.
Charleston.
Yeah,
West
and it wouldn't have clicked at all.
Did you say
Okay.
South Carolina?
Eddie.
I thought you just said Carolina.
Eddie. Honolulu.
Wait, you said Carolina?
Yeah.
No.
You screwed me.
I thought he said West Virginia.
I said West Virginia.
I was thinking
All right.
of
Here we
the
go.
complete Virginias.
Nebraska.
Dude, that's crazy. Like I'm drawing all blanks. I know these. I can't do it. Give it to Dean.
You think
See?
I know it?
I know it. Lincoln.
There you go.
Yeah.
Eddie.
I was
3
just about
nothing.
to
It's
say
just it's pissing me off.
Okay.
It is. I'm like, I know that every other day, except it's just driving me nuts.
that. Under
Eddie.
the lights.
Or Dean. Florida.
Is it Tallahassee?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. You're fucking right.
Eddie.
Love Tallahassee.
What?
Georgia.
Athens?
Incorrect.
No, that's where the Georgia University is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say Atlanta, but I don't think
That
that's
is
it.
correct. It's 3 to
What is
2. Eddie. Dean. California.
It's Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. It's 3 to 3. Eddie. Arizona.
Who cares? Tucson?
That's incorrect. Dean.
That's where the college is, right?
Yes. There
You know where they got Phoenix?
That's correct. 4 to 3. Dean, for the win. Vermont.
It's got to be. I want to say it's. I want to say it's like Montague or something like that.
Montague. Your final answer for the win.
No, it's Vermont City. Give me Vermont City.
It is not Vermont City, Eddie.
Where is their college? Is it in Montpelier?
Yes, I will take it.
What? How do you pronounce it?
I think it is
Perrier?
Montpelier.
Perrier? I mean,
4-4. Eddie has a chance to win it here. New Jersey.
New Jersey. Where do the Nets play? Brooklyn? Yeah, I'll go with Brooklyn.
That's New York.
Oh, I was like, that's a good answer. Oh, is it
Dean,
me?
for the win.
Is it the Jersey Shore?
Is it the situation?
It's the situation. If it's
No,
not Pauly
it is
D,
Trenton, New Jersey.
I would have never guessed that.
All right. Let me give you
Don't
a
even
little bit
have a-
easier one.
I should have said Piscataway.
Piscataway.
Where Rutgers is.
Dean, for the win.
Bonus points for knowing that.
Let's go with. All
I
right.
thought it was a random generator. You keep cycling through these states or what?
Oh, I just started picking them.
Indiana.
Well, that's why I didn't pick that. New Mexico.
Oh,
He's got it.
Is it Santa Fe?
That is correct. Dean wins the Battle of Capitals. That went a lot longer than I thought it would. I was like, we'll just do state capitals tonight.
Bill's like, what's the gayest thing we could do?
Next week, bring bananas and meatballs.
Yeah,
guys.
next time, come with your top off and bring phallic-looking veggies.
All right, well,
It's cucumber night next week, baby.
cucumbers and bananas.
Make sure you freeze them.
Frozen pickles. Great Bills Balls games. Congratulations to Dean.
That was a stupid game.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help this podcast get huge. And feel free to watch last week's episode that you'll see right down, leave here. And we will see you next time on Wake Up with the Sleeper Boys podcast.
Here we go.